So the next installment of my Marvel Netflix TV series of reviews I'm doing right now. Next is the Defenders, and then we'll talk about Agents of Carter and Agents of Shield. But right now, I wanted to talk about the Netflix shows first because I really got back into that because of the Daredevil stuff. And we're talking about my least favorite, Iron Fist. When I started this video series, I knew I was going to watch Iron Fist, but I was so dreading it and almost questioning should I do it because Iron Fist is just a terrible show. The first season starts really good with this like plot line of Danny and him going missing and nobody knowing who he is, and the way the show starts is like, holy shit, what's going on? And you're immediately engaged, and the first season does a decent enough job make that mystery engaging, but at a certain point you just stop caring. And the show just becomes so incredibly boring. This is a show that really needed like a really fun martial arts director to kind of play around with some of that stuff and play around in that world, but it didn't have that vibe to it at all. The Iron Fist character looks nothing like his comic book counterpart. Jessica Jones and Luke Cage look different from their comic book counterparts, but enough that it doesn't really make a difference. Same thing with Daredevil and the Punisher. I know Daredevil looks more comic book accurate now, but that's we're talking about when these shows were airing. And so it's fine, but Iron Fist literally is like nothing like his comic book counterpart, which is someone who actually enjoys the comic book counterpart. We're not so much that I'm reading the comics, but just that it looks cool aesthetically and kind of seems interesting. I could just feel that they just clearly were not adapting that. He doesn't even look like the comic book counterpart at all. And it's just a lot of him going, I am the Iron Fist. And it's so goddamn boring. And then season two, I just legitimately didn't care about the plot. It was a shorter season and just not really engaging at all. There was just like Iron Fist, I think, was one of those shows like no one was sad when it died. Unless you were just so diehard into this universe that you were demanding a Defender season two, because the show is such a nothing show. There's not really ever any reason to ever really watch this show unless you have to watch all the Netflix shows, which I do recommend doing. I think this whole little universe had some really cool stuff in it, even though overall it was a very flawed experiment in a lot of ways. But this is the worst of it. It is just so boring and just no thank you.